If you can hear me and see me all right, please give me a thumbs up. Let me know. We're going to go ahead and go live. A couple other places. Double check my audio there. All right. How are you guys? How am I doing here on TikTok? Can you hear me and see me all right? Looks good? Wonderful. All right. Thank you so much. Let's give this a second so I could check out YouTube and Facebook, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Go ahead and start posting your questions. You could do so now. I am taking questions on your money, career, investments. Okay, so your finding work, if you're thinking of buying a property, if you're thinking of getting married, if you're thinking of making a change, maybe you want to go back to school, you're thinking of a specific investment and you're not, if it's going to work out or not, I can give you some advice from Spirit on that. So go ahead and post your questions now. $5 gets you the short answer. $10 gets looks like we have a few people tuned in here through YouTube as so it looks like that's working and that's connected to Facebook. So if you guys and Facebook could please give me a thumbs up, let me know that you can hear me and see me all right. That would be helpful. Gonna wait until I have that. And a couple quick announcements while I let people tune in here. So much thing lately that my camera is a million miles away and you don't like it and that I should move it in closer. So I have moved it in closer. I don't know what exactly this is going to do quality of the show. However, if you feel like this is somehow more intimate, more comfortable, you can hear me better, you're feeling it more, whatever, go ahead, leave a comment. And I will continue to create a more intimate sort of for my shows. I did also want to make an announcement. I just ran a poll past week, and I had asked you guys if you would like to see weekly horoscopes, more on me teaching on symbology, and I had a third option that was on like myth busting, intuition, to increase your skills, and there was something else there with that. I forget what it was. Could go in the comment section if you did not already vote on that poll and let me know what it is that you want to hear about. So again, do you want more weekly horoscopes? Do you want more video symbology breakdown, or do you want more on intuition, myth, how to apply certain tools, okay, to your, you can pick a couple things. If you have another suggestion, I also want to hear that. But I will be, so I want to say probably starting next week, I'm going to start pumping out smaller videos, shorter videos, pre-recorded. Okay, so if you guys have, get over here on YouTube at Ask Ivy and hit the subscribe button, hit that to get alerts or updates when I go live. All right, looks like we have a few people tuned in here and my audio and a thumbs up. So welcome everyone. I'm Ivy Rivera. I'm a psychic medium, Italian. This is my bi-weekly Get a Grip on Your Money Investments show. You're going to go ahead and type in your questions now. Gets you the short answer. $10 gets you the long answer. And I will be doing money investment career readings up on my website. So if you just want to get a reading specifically on this, you could start booking those with me. All right, looks like we have a few questions coming in here. Jill, my beautiful producer, is going to be, and do include the first name of anyone, or if it's address or a job that you're referring to. That helps me chase faster and allow more time for your neighbor. All right, Jill, what question? Where do we want to go with this today? Let's from Nicole. This is a $10 question. Wants to know, I have a new very large childcare center opening in months, and I am wondering how you see this going. Okay, so I don't have the of it, but it's a large childcare center next month. Get going. I think it's going to sort of start off with a bang. So this is a typical situation where we often see the launch of a business or a brand new event or a brand new project, and we see a lot of interest come at it. Like, don't take this the wrong way, but beginner's luck. So when we introduce something new, you can usually be rest assured, right? Then for a minute. Now, what seems to happen after the first, I want to say 3 to 6 months, I have some clients' circumstances, customer circumstances that are painful. So if they have a change in their circumstance, if they have in the need for your services, for example, I feel hearing about some of that, that could create some level of anxiety for you. However, you seem to have contracts. So if you don't already have these in place, I would get them in place now. That locks someone in. Unfortunate if we have a situation where someone needs for financial, to get out of it. But the thing is, you can't in business always be taking into consideration that people are going to be forgetful, or they're going to have needs, or they're going to change their mind. You can't keep that, or you're going to implode quickly. So I think what you need to do is sit with spirit, figure out exactly what these contracts should look like. What is honorable for you as owner, but also taking into consideration the changing times and the economy. And families are always, moving about and need that money. Is it maybe a 3-month-long agreement? Is it a 6-month-long agreement that says you have, regardless of whether or not you're using these services? I think that a situation like really going to help you to advance, to be able to take your mind more off of changing circumstances and people and finances and what's going on, and focus more on growth of the company, the business, in particular, the advertising. So this comes up for the next 6 to 7 months with a big breakthrough in the 9th month. I don't think that's going to happen unless we sort of hit all the right notes on the way leading up to it. And you need to be mindful for the next 6 to 7 months that you're networking in just the right way. In your case, that you are paying attention to your clients and who they're connected to. You're paying attention to things like media and making sure that you have a strong presence there. You're making sure that you're posting things like photographs or something that may seem like more intimate, you on what's going on with the company, spark some interest, create some, get your place on people's mouths, so that when you do hit 9th month, when you really need that big sort of boost advertising, it's there and ready to come through networking. That to me feels like we more like radio. We may be talking about something like almost like a broadcasting channel or something, a commercial of some type. And while it's going to be incredibly affordable, for you, or like even on like a sliding scale, even end up being almost no fee. This is going to be huge for your expansion for the next years. All right. Good luck with everything. Thank you so much for your question. Again, if you guys are tuning in late, I did give this video a thumbs up wherever you're tuning in from. Drop a comment in the algorithm, and please do subscribe. $5 gets you the short answer to your question, gets you the long answer. All right, we're going to move on to an Edgar. This is a $10. And he wants to know, plan to get CSW, which is a clinical state license for social work. When do you see me getting my license? It will allow me to have more opportunities and my own practice. So when will Edgar be getting his LSW license? I'm feeling like a year to a year and 3 months stretch this out to about 1 year and 7 months. Now, what that means is that we're talking about something that charted for you. So I can give a 100% guarantee it is going to happen. The thing is 100% guarantee on how you're going to make it happen, when you're going to make it happen. I choose to manipulate timeline on this a little bit. And so if you stretch it out, I think that that's fine. I definitely think that by about 1 year and 7 months, you need this under wraps for a lot of important reasons that'll make more sense about after that. You need to be ready to go. You need to hit the ground running. Okay. So don't forget that the gun has gone off and the race is to be, ran. It isn't about with like residency stuff and relationship stuff. And I don't know, maybe personally sometimes get a little bit overwhelmed. You carry a little bit of energy over the course of the next couple of years of sometimes feeling distracted with changes that are going on in your life, and may make you feel a bit drained or anxious, and have a tendency when you get like that to sort of hibernate and be like, okay, well, I need to take some self-care days. I'm not gonna take self-care days. Everybody should be, all right, but don't, if one is enough, then you don't need 4. If just taking the afternoon off, that may in fact cut it. Sometimes you just take a couple hours to get away, bounce right back and get in the game. So I think it's going to be about speed for you. I think that if you can that mark of, again, by 1 year and 7 months, what you're going to that this quickly allows you to evolve into the, I heard tax, but this is going to quickly allow you to evolve financially to the level that you were hoping for. I even feel like this is bigger than what your ego can wrap its head around. You may be making a lot more money than what you can even consider right now or for yourself. And what can also be happening with that is that there's such a speed and increase happening simultaneously that you don't have any time to process. Wouldn't be surprised if by the end of the first year of you having and utilizing this license, so much extra money, you need like a money manager or to figure out exactly what you're in terms of investment and things like this. So stay organized through this whole thing too. Don't pile up and build up. All right. Looks really, really good. Have a good time with it and don't slow down because, you'll be saying, I wish I had done this sooner. Let's move on to Melissa. Thank you so much. All right, Melissa, a $5 question. She wants to know, I'm trying to buy a house. Is there anything I can do with my funds to ensure I have enough money to buy? What can Melissa do to ensure this house? Is there anything more she needs to do to ensure this? Really, it's almost like you're getting 2 different stories. I like to say that if you talk to 3 different people, okay, you get no matter with any type of customer service or applying for a bank or a loan or whatever, any area. It's always different opinions. So a couple of the different things that I'm hearing here is saying to you that they're looking at your credit and they're seeing something that looks like a hit, something that should have been dealt with, or something that looks a little bit fishy. Double check. I may be talking about Equifax. Yeah. I would also check TransUnion, and I would look down. I'm looking down to the bottom to the last 3 things that are on there. I think that there are where you could just polish things up a little bit. I really don't think that these would be big hindrance. You could talk your way through it, or I think that you could sort of explain, it, or even I think that if you're presenting strong in a couple other areas, it's not going to really be an issue. Now, the thing is, there are applications that you're putting in that just seem like I heard hard lenders, okay, which isn't the point I'm getting to, but they're hard in the way that they may also like hard. They may also be like real cutthroat, high rates. Be careful, that you're not signing on to anything you're not really comfortable with. I think ultimately what you're supposed to be doing right now is focus on the savings itself. And I think that in this case, the saving or the down payment or the savings are for, move itself so that if you have to shift any other around, you're going to have that to prove. I have these resources, and be something that's already in the bank. Okay, so let's just say, for example, you could put more money in the bank somewhere else. Move it in there now. All right, looks good. Congratulations on that. We're going to move on to another question here from Atara, and this is a $10 question. And she wants to know, I have 2 growing businesses, a cleaning business, a business. Am I on the right track in my work world? You know, the bra business really comes up as being a bit of a drag, pun intended. I think that there could be something down in this over the course of the upcoming year where you're just sort of feeling it's not like things aren't getting snatched up at the rate that you would expect them to, or that they would. And what you can do about it is focus more, but basically where people can go to purchase. So if they know where to find you, if you're sort of everywhere, and so be it. We may be able to increase the flow here. The demand does seem on point for what you're looking for. That's not a problem we're going to be able to fix. Is demand, you know, you can't go out there and entice people to, all right? That's way above your head. That's outside of your scope. So stay in your lane. It's for you to do and what is not for you to do. And don't allow yourself to get bogged down things that are no longer for you to do. I think that when we look at the business, this really seems to be taking off. So if you're talking about bringing in like additional people, if you have people working under you, if you're expanding out into hotels, Airbnbs, you know, also on what looks to be like, I heard the working class, but I don't think it's that as much as I think what I'm hearing is more about people who are at work so much that there's like no way they could possibly, you know, clean their house. And so we're looking at people who, you know, are not necessarily in like wealthier neighborhoods, but like, you know, people who work excessively is what. So I think that if you were to pay a little bit more attention to like, I think if you were to pay more attention to also in your advertising algorithms and traffic flow and who you're gearing things like your ads to, you know, representing the population you want to attract. I want to say too, with the not what it used to be. Okay, so there was a time when like only the elite had cleaning staff. A lot of people have cleaning staff. Okay, a lot of people work so hard and they don't want to live in this organization because it makes them crazy. We also know more about how, you know, having a affects our mental and emotional, you know, energetic well-being and even our spirit, and creates harmony in an atmosphere. Like, you know, like your relationship may be more functional. You're more efficient in your work or career. This may be an angle you want to push too, where it's like the mind body aspect, you know, we push sort of in the workout world, you know, or the world and the spiritual circuit. Well, you may want to push something very, you may want to say like, this is for better health. This is for cleaner air. This will reduce allergies. This may, you don't have to make up lies. I mean, it does, you know, clean air. But I think you need to focus more on sort of the mind, body, soul aspect of it. You know, this is about harmony. And I would work that into your title at some point. It's almost like very on brand for what you're trying to do. People piece. So focus on that. And I think it's going to just sort of explode on its own. All right, that looks real good. Let's move on to another one. Kara, this is a $5 question. And Kara wants to know, how long do you see me working at PF? Do you see me staying in Missouri? Okay, PFH and Missouri. Let's see. How long do I see you working at PH? I think that you have an option to do this for approximately 2 more years. Now that that they're going to like let you go or that you have to leave at that time. I think this is more outgrowing the space and you feeling as though you want to do something that's more in alignment with your life contract. And so you may start to look at alternatives that are connected to what you do, but you already have experience in these other areas. And so it's sort of connected to what you do. Find that you want to branch out more into communication and leadership, more like self-employment, independent contracting, consulting work, you know, things. And so that's going to really require that you branch off. Now, I wouldn't, again, if you're feeling this, you know, real strong in about a year and a half, not wrap it up by then or leave by then. But good time to consider it. Missouri is concerned. Do I see you staying in Missouri? You know, I don't stay in Missouri. It's funny because it's not a great fit for you in the long haul. How I could see you staying anywhere between 3 and 6 years and somebody else. So whether this is like a love partner, you know, this is just some great partnership and networking, a combination of both. It could be that you feel very comfortable there and that the universe is really there. So if it's easy and it feels good and you do like the atmosphere to an extent, why not stay? So I could see you stretching it out a bit, but long term, not so much. You belong on the West Coast, more like, you know, California, Arizona. You've got some business to do over there. Let's move on to another question. Thank you so much, Kara, for your. We have one coming in here from a Joanne, and this is a $10 question. And Joanne wants to know, I'm inquiring to know if I stayed at my, I'd be getting promoted or leave to another company. Would that be worth the money? Okay, guys, again, for those of you tuning in late, when you drop your question, I know we don't want everyone knowing your person, but if you could use the name of the company that you're asking about or referring to, or even a pseudonym, okay, is good enough. Okay, so I don't have to sort of narrow down where you are right now. Especially if you've had a lot of jobs, takes me a minute. Okay, so inquiring to know if you job, will you be getting promoted or leave to another company be worth the money? All right, should she will she get promoted, Joanne? You'll get promoted. I mean, you should stay. No. So, you know, it's not really black or white, because we want to look at your life contract. Okay, what did you came to Earth? People, if you have not booked a life contract reading with me, okay, go onto my website, ivyrivera.com. Let's talk about it. It'll match your Vedic, your Western astrology, your numerology. Ask me how. I've been doing these for 13 years. They match. We need to stick to what we can do. So just because a job is going to give you dental and medical and you're going to get a, you know, consistent pay, equate to you needing to be there or meaning to be there. You know, it's bigger. What we have going on here is an opportunity, Joanne, a little bit like the old, you know, all that glitters is not gold. And when that, you may get exactly what you want, but it's not necessarily what you need. And so it's not out the door as much as it is going to create a comfort zone for you and possibly stagnancy. If you do this for another 2 years, you could be reaching a point I call the breaking of the legs. So when the universe is saying make this change, you need to evolve, we need to switch things up, go in this direction, and you refuse, you go through a set of 3, okay, different levels where the universe has a way of reminding you why you came here. And it starts with a little bit of a timeout chair, and then it can get far more intense than poking and prodding phase. And in the 3rd level, we get into the breaking of the legs. Are your legs going to probably not? Okay. But could you start to see some real issues with mobility in the world? Could you start to see some real issues with your prosperity? Could you start to see a lot of tendency, a feeling of getting stuck in the mud? You just like a hamster on a wheel, you cannot move. Yeah, 100%. And it's the universe's way of saying, I've taken my hands off your situation on your own because you aren't holding yourself accountable or doing what you need to do. And I've already given you that be real mindful of that going forward. And I would say, get this cleared up, your promotion, enjoy your promotion, but look at the bigger picture and get out of there within years, okay, to start doing what's more meaningful in alignment with your life contract. All right, which with management for you. All right, let's move into another question here. We in $10 from a Pam Harris, and she wants to know, recently lost my full-time job. It was not a good end. Which direction you see me going in for a new full-time job? Harris, new direction for her full-time job. Where should that be? Seems almost like you always find yourself behind a desk, and you find yourself piles and piles and piles of paperwork where people are basically like, you're like the magician behind these companies. These people could not function without you doing what you do. Behind there, not feeling anything. It's like you're totally numb. You're good at what you do. You take a piece of paper, you put it to where it's supposed to be, tell everybody what to do, you tell everything where it needs to go. And that's sort of the end of it. You unfulfilled. I think that one of the things you're supposed to be doing is moving more into a direction where you're maybe a smaller company, or you're dealing with a company that represents something that you feel kind of passionate about, or you find a company where you say, you know what, I like the way they, and I see a ton of potential growth. You can feel money and prosperity off of different companies. You could also look at what somebody's doing is going nowhere, or I don't even know how they're hanging on, right? This is about to implode. You want to just sort of energy of some of the different companies that you're applying to. And where you feel that draw, like you want to contribute, you want to be there. That's enough for now. That's the next big step in where you're headed. Once you get in there, because they're going to feel for you. Okay. So once you get in there, I see you being more greatly appreciated than in the past working for these other companies. And you could find, to a degree, behind the desk or being the organizer, or, dictating and handling all the stuff, the to-do list that's a mile. While that may be happening, you're also going to see some unique opportunities come up. These communication opportunities may allow for you to get into something else. I'm hearing distribution. It could be where you're up with potential clients, or people they're going to be partnering, may be partnering with, and you almost become like an advocate, a representative for the company itself. This could be putting you into some significant amount of travel, and so I see you getting on planes. Okay, so this could be nationwide, and be asked to get involved in additional trainings, like anywhere from 3 to 5 additional trainings that will be great tools for your toolbox going forward. Appreciate you, and they see you for more than what other companies have, which is just behind the desk. They want you out there, like, speak. All right, I like it a lot. Keep moving. All right, we're going to move on to another question from an Elizabeth, and this is a $10 question. Wants to know, will my real estate career go well? Will I make a lot of money? I see you making a lot of money. I also see you spending a lot of money. And so I think that the buzz a little bit, but what you need to be careful of is whether you're spending on children. There's no way around this. Okay, I understand that. But like, overindulge in what you're spending on. Like, can we cut some corners that the money you make is going more into wise long-term investments that will continue to grow, maybe even some passive income, maybe some investments in things like real estate. I think that you could put your money for things instead of, the quick, okay, and instant gratification that may come with things, whether it be like extracurriculars or entertainment or trips or stuff we need. Okay, do you need it? Are you sure? Have a vehicle? Do you need that second? I think just be smart for the next 5 years. If you really want to see your money grow, what you do is to hoard it a little bit. Okay, as this real estate business. Take that cash, put it into something else that can grow for you, just be utilized and consumed and poof, disappear. It has to be something you're really active about and even forceful about, because you may have like a love partner or somebody else. You have somebody you have shared income with. Okay. They want it. They want to spend it on these other things. It's almost like to hear this, you go, so do I. No, I really, really do. Okay. Even if I had a game plan and I wasn't going to, it's hard. It's hard. Like the minute I say to myself, I'm not going to go out, I'm like starving for something from one particular restaurant. Like we trick ourselves. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy failure here. I think you're going to have to be real mindful about it. But if you're doing that, all right, we're going to see an opportunity for you to take the real estate career up to the next level as well. And it has something to do with you actually investing in properties yourself. So not sure exactly what I'm looking at with this. All I can say is that it looks to me like if you to partner up, not with a ton of people, but maybe just like two. Okay. And you get some great deals on something like an apartment, like multi-unit situations. And you were to start really, okay. It's a lucrative business for you. And that could a lot about real estate and what other types of properties you want to be selling. So you may, I don't know anything about, real estate in any major way, but the way this looks to me, that you could be moving from something like residency, okay, like smaller homes or starter homes, to things like apartment buildings and hotels and beach properties and higher end, okay, like it just looks like way bigger in the profit, way bigger in the size, and ultimately it allows for your name in that business to become a lot larger, so that people sort of know your name, almost like a house brand, and they know that if this is a purchase I want to make, I'm through word of mouth, and I'm going to go to her to get this deal made for me. Okay, I know she knows where stuff is. So yeah, start with that. Okay, and don't forget that this is a good for you for the rest of your life, really, that every dollar you get, you should try to find a way to make it $10. Okay. All right. Let's move on to another question. Good luck with that. You guys, so many new businesses and job changes. And I can feel a bunch of you getting more on path with your career, your life I mean, there is nothing greater than that. So absolutely huge. We have one coming in here from a Joe, $5 question, and she wants to know, I just acquired a second. Will I have the funds in the future to maintain it? You will if you go get them. Is that this is a period of time for you to be a dog eat dog. It's almost like a cash. It's like a very aggressive approach to your finances. I think that we all hit points in our lives where we have to be more assertive and aggressive. You can't rest on your laurels. You can't just say, well, I have this job, I hope I get some promotion, it works out for me until I'm 80, or 60, or whenever people retire, for us probably. But I think that you have to stop looking outside of yourself. The trick right now is, instead of saying, I hope this job pays out and I hope all this works out, able to rely on this in the future, I think you need to start looking instead of to your boss as a resource, and the bank and loans as a resource, other people around you as potential resources should you need them. Look inside and yourself, how am I the resource? What skills do I have that I haven't utilized? I build and create here? Where's your passion? Where's your drive? Where's your interest? Where I notice that there are some little untapped markets that you haven't, even hobbies, that you haven't involved in yet because it was never the right time. You're saving it for a rainy day. Start investing in those. takes you, because you need to have multiple sources of income in order to rest and relax. All right, we're going to move on to another question here from Maisie. Question. And Maisie wants to know, I've been self-employed 2 years and have really loved the opportunity, but feel a change may be coming. Site or direction is appreciated. Okay, so what changes are in with Maisie? I really feel like you're branching out from what you were doing, and you're getting more involved in that's. It feels quick. It feels like when people purchase the offering, they purchase it either in larger amounts or they purchase it like binging on it. So they may need a whole lot and then they don't need it. I see you offering some type of a product that feels very useful to people in the moment. I also feel you being in a unique position to communicate more with others and something a bit separate. So when you started working, self-employed in your business, doing all of this, you would have noticed a lot of people want your opinion, that you have a lot of opinions, that you have a lot of skills maybe you didn't know you had before. And even if in running a business, I never really saw myself as like a business owner. Well, people see you that way. And you have wisdom to give when you have tools and resources and an actual to give people so that they can create their own wealth and abundance. A unique position to just talk, and just have people for that. And it seems like something that's occurred to you on social media. You were sharing a lot of memes on it, and you would notice that they did really well, but you've never done videos, where you just talk about it. I think you need to start talking more about your experience. You talk more about your journey in self-employment. I think you need to talk about and what people should expect, how they do better in their performance in certain areas, what they should cut, essentially keeping up the speed for and growth. And I think that you may find you're almost turning into a bit of a coach. You're almost turning into a bit of a project manager. And this to be where the majority of prosperity is going to be coming for you. I want to say between 3 to 6 years. Now, you do have a dividing line between the 5th and the 6th year out. So what that means is that your life is going to change pretty drastically. At about 6 years out from now, you're going to be looking at the 5th year and you're going to be saying, oh my God, I barely recognize my circumstances. I hardly recognize my own self so much. That says to me that you level up in way that it alters your day-to-day lifestyle. Okay, this could be entering into a whole new task. It could be relocating to I feel for you sort of like the perfect or space for residency. And I feel that with your business at that point, you would also have people working under you. I don't know if I want to call them employees much as it is almost like partners, but you master keys. So you dictate where this is going. All right. Good luck with everything. It's funny. And I just want to say this to everybody who's tuning in. One of the things we don't do enough of is to stop and analyze what we have been through over the course of our lives. Have learned over the course of our life, not just job experience, but like relations and hardships and, disease or illness or accidents, triumphs that we have. And if we take more time to start piecing it together, and how can I use everything I've been through? What is it telling me about my life contract? What does it tell the story I have to give the world? Okay. The wisdom and guidance I can give the world. That, sometimes you go to college and they say, well, you're going to get life credits for that. And you're like, really? I'm getting credit for that? Like, I didn't take a class, didn't pay for anything, and I didn't buy books. Yeah, because the earth is a classroom. And so start looking more seriously is that you have to give, even if it feels a little intimidating, start. Or like, you don't see how this could possibly become money. That's not the point. The first step in speaking your truth and see where it leads. See who it, okay, there's a lot more here than meets the eye. And we just don't process enough, you know. Go ahead and move on to another question here from a Trevor. This is a question. Yes, I have to count on my fingers. And I still think it's wrong. Okay. Troy wants to know, what are my chances of starting a security company? Pretty good if you do it. I think the bigger question here is, what are your chances of successful? So it's not a question as to whether or not you can do it. Yes, you can do it. Yeah, I think it will. You know, one of the things I'm getting with you is like concerts. So I don't know what you mean by security. If you mean like home security and cameras and, you know, PI like tools that people can use. But one of the things I was feeling with you was like security, guards even, you know, so one way or another. All right. You may find yourself networking with other forms of security. And I think that one of the things you're supposed to be really focused is the hustle and bustle, the speed, the sort of chaos. Okay. The chaotic energy that can come along with a situation that makes us feel unsafe. And we don't typically, some people are paranoid, but we don't typically feel unless we're actually, you know, being threatened. Those of us that don't have maybe anxiety, okay, and I don't know, you know, the PTSD and all these triggers, you know, but, you know, the average person, again, if they're feeling unsafe, it's because of the environment that they're in and threat. We also psychically feel these things happening ahead of time. So I want to say that we really don't ever have anything sneak up on us. We do know ahead of time when something's coming, not pay attention. You may want to play into that angle. I'm not telling you to be a fearmonger in your advertising. I'm not telling you that you should, you know, trip people up and make them focused on the low level energy of the situation, but you can help them to identify when their gut is telling them that they need a little, they're in a situation that is a legitimate threat. It's not paranoia. Out through your advertising, this sort of psychological aspects of like in versus paranoia, you know, and what's accurate and what's unnecessary. This makes you a more honest salesman in a lot of ways. Okay. So you're bringing in the light, you're bringing in the solution, you're bringing in the clarity, and you're making it easy. So the other thing I'm hearing about your company is that you should be making sure quick, simple, and easy. There should be a speed to this. Hiring on any type of a system that can potentially be complicated, whether too many hands in the pot, too many people involved, or too many like objects or items, you know, require a lot of connections and things. You can find that people are just really hesitant. So you're going to want to make sure that your reviews of this company are based on that as well. So the first go and they click on you in Google, you know, they want to see a review, put it at the tip top. So it says, this was so fast and easy. I literally didn't even stress a day. Everything's perfect. Okay. People want to be able to sleep at night. All right. So thank you so much with that company. Absolutely. Just push forward and it's going to work out. We have another one coming in here from an Alice. This is a $10 question. Let's see. And she wants to know, my JH has several directions. Okay, it can take. Step back into a Scrum Master role. I don't know if I'm stay a program manager or move into RTE role. Okay, right, all three. Any advice on which direction I should go? Thank you. All right. So, you know, what I'm feeling with this is the RTE role. What, because I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay. And I'm not going to try to. I think the best It's like, what does that mean for you? Okay. And like, why is that what's being recommended? Essentially this, you have a couple monkeys on your back and they're not in alignment at all. Okay. With what you're to be doing in this life. So they're not really going to get you anywhere. What we want to stop you from doing is any longer than you already have. You may have been doing this for like 2 years. So I'm not saying you had all this for 2 years. I'm saying you've been treading water with this company or this line of work so what we really want to look at this point is how we can get you in a forward direction. And if you were to keep that position, it may prevent other things from getting piled onto it. So this is a position sort of stable. You know, this is it's like static. This is what it is, and it will always be the same. And that allows you to grow and develop in areas. When we have that level of stability, which you haven't felt in a long time, you're constantly learn new tricks of the trade. You're not constantly having things thrown or on your desk on a deadline that creates tension and stress for you because you're not even you're walking it out for the first time, or you have to go wait on someone else to give you direction because you have to figure it's too much. So with this position, what you're going to be able to get into your flow, get more centered. This will help you to sort of really aim to work. You seem to be identified as bringing a higher vibrational energy. I want to say that you bring is what's going to attract even more networking opportunity, elevation within this career. And so they're going to offer you something when you're not like scrambled, over giving, overreaching and out of your lane, you know, and it's almost too easy. So I like that. It should be easy. This is you claiming power by taking that position, or by saying, I only want this position. Convince you to keep the one that you mentioned just before it. So what the heck was that? Pro manager? So here's the thing. It's almost like here's the highest likelihood of how this is going to go. And I can't give a 100% guarantee. Okay. Because we will, but highest likelihood is that this is how this is going to go. You go and you say you want that position, you want to stay there. What they may try to do is coerce you or sort of bully you or guilt you into keeping the program manager a little while longer for just a little bit more, just half of it, maybe just for 3 more months, you know, whatever it is. And you're saying you're going, this is my deadline. All right. So don't even think about getting into without an actual deadline and an actual date. And I think that date negotiated the way you negotiate everything else, right? You're going high, you're expecting low. Okay. And we're going to meet somewhere in the middle. So be serious about what you say. Show the universe that you are setting healthy boundaries in your life and you are focused on growth. You want to propel your energy forward. And that's exactly how the universe is going to react to you. Good luck with this. Awesome. I'm happy for you to see that transition for sure. We have another question in here. We are at time. All right, perfect. Thanks for tuning in. This is the second time I have run this show. It's called Get a Grip on Our Money, Career, and Investments. If you like this show, please drop a comment, subscribe, of course, like always, hit that bell. But let me know, and I will continue to do it. Also, if you need a reading for money, career, investments, you can go onto my website at Ivy Rivera, Psychic Medium. And I will be offering this as its own reading, style category this week. But in the meantime, you can always book a psychic mediumship reading. I'll certainly include this in every reading that I give. I tend to. Thanks so much for tuning in. Everybody, thank you for your questions. Thank you, Spirit. And thank you, Jill. Can we all say thank you to Jill for being such a... We certainly do appreciate her. I will see you guys next week for my bi-weekly Ask Ivy show, Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, back here on all of these where I take your personal questions and I deliver out messages from Spirit. Take care.